9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on? Patrick, can you hear anything at all?
I'm just you, which is amazing.
Come back again?
I said I can hear you, which is amazing. I don't hear anything else.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you and the echo.
Again. Don't go away there, people. We have the solution. We have the technology, baby. Now I hear you.
There we go.
We're struggling with some feedback and some echo, and I just can't do that. How's everybody doing tonight? And thanks for coming in. Hit those comments. Let us know you're there. And what is up? Patrick, you're going to have to decipher everybody.
Okay.
You know, we're planning ahead. We are looking forward to St. Patrick's Day, and that's what's got us cooking what we're cooking tonight. So I got a lot going on. I know you can't really see it all, but this table's full, and we're going to have some fun tonight. We appreciate everyone checking in. I am going to give you a heads up. If you have any instant potatoes, just go get some and start cooking them now. Just start cooking them now, and you'll thank me later. If you were on Patreon today, you may have seen something cool. If not, I think we're going to show it in a bit. We, like I said, we're getting ready for St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're making shepherd's pie egg roll. You know, egg rolls been around forever. We got the spring roll wrapper. We got the traditional egg roll wrapper. All kinds of stuff. We'll get into that in a minute. But in preparation to St. Patty's Day, you know, I had to go hang out with the millennial here, one of my favorite millennials. And we all know how I feel about millennials. And he had me drinking, first of all, Guinness. Never had a Guinness before, so we had to go have Guinness. And is that what you're drinking tonight?
That's what I got right here.
And after that, they say, all right, we got to do car bombs. And I'm like, no idea what that is. None whatsoever. So at 53 years old, I meant 42. At 42 years old, I had my first Irish car bomb. But I had still never had Jameson. So we're going to try Jameson tonight. And yeah, that bottle just opened. I've really never had this.
Mm-hmm.
I really do only drink Jack. I drink 512. I am, some people say loyal to a fault. Others say stupid. But here we go. Here's to everyone hanging out with us here tonight. I hope you guys have all your me's. And most importantly, we love that you're here with us hanging out. And I hope everybody's cooking tonight. Happy St. Patty's Day, even though it's 20-some days away, 17 days away.
Enjoy it.
You know, it's smoother than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really have much behind it. It's kind of, I would say this is a starter kit.
So it's meant to be drinking how you just did. I mean, I've had my fair share of Jameson, and most of them come in tiny little glasses like that, and you just got to down the hatch, and that's it. It's not something that I sip on. I don't put ice in there. just take a nice clean shot and move on with my day.
Now, it warmed me up.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I would consider this like a starter kit. Like, this is what's going to eat. This is the candy cigarette that's going to lead me to, Camel someday down the road.
I mean, you can't beat the price point for it. I mean,
$24.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
$24. Now, tonight we're making not Jameson gravy. And we're going to be using my standard. I think it has a little more flavor, a little more bite. And speaking of that, it's time for a little drink here. And before we start, I want to show you again. Don't ask, bad day, good day. You notice how high my ice is. So let's get a cocktail. And I think Patrick and I have killed enough time that everybody should be ready to get started here. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get fired. Jen, and I know I'm probably one of the few people to call you Jen. When you're done cooking tonight, you can mail that Jack to me because I know you're not going to drink it. All right, I think we're going to start with the filling for the egg rolls. So you want to get a nice heavy bottom pot, and we're going to condition our pan. If you don't know what that means, we're going to heat up our pan. I heat up my fat at the same time. Some people heat up their pan, then drop their fat. Depends on what you're doing. I'm just going all at once. We're on a window here. And the window is how long I can stand out here and deal with the mosquitoes chomping away. I've got 3 citronella candles going, and we're rocking and rolling. When we talk about shepherd's pie, I don't remember who I was talking with. I think it was actually one of my chef buddies, and they're looking at the recipe that we're making tonight, and they're like, so why do you put pork in it? And I'm like, you're going to ask about the pork? You're not going to ask about the beef? Well, no, I always make my shepherd's pie with beef. Well, shepherd's pie is traditionally lamb. And, when we mix the mixture of the beef and the pork, we're going to get a softer flavor, kind of like that lamb. And that's why I do it. Why don't I just go get lamb? We don't go find ground lamb, down at the supermarkets traditionally around here. And it's something you'd have to request. So because of that, we just have our mixture. And I've got it in a 1 quart, ready to go, weighed out half and half. I've got all my ingredients laid out. I know you can see part of my mise here. And what I do when I set up my mise, not only do I make and measure my product, when I'm ready to cook, I actually have it laid out in order to rock and roll. All right, who is using the lamb? Can you see on the back end there, Patrick? Can you log into Facebook and watch it that way?
I already am. It looks like Sean is using the lamb, and Jake says that shepherd's pie with the beef sounds amazing.
We got Jake Gore in the room today. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys are watching that VooDoo page, and that VooDoo page is private access only for our VIPs. Jake's been putting up some nice stuff in there. And, I saw Dave's bacon cheeseburger dip. I don't know how I missed that on Super Bowl. I need that in my life like tonight. I need that like right now with a Coors Light. All right, here we go. We're going to drop in our carrots and onions. If you're following along, cooking along, let us know. We don't want to get too far ahead. I can always slow down. When you talk about your cuts, you want to be 1/4 inch or smaller because we are putting them in egg rolls. But the biggest key is making sure that they're all the same size because that way they're going to cook at the same rate. And that's what we're really worried about here. Making sure that everything is cooked the way it needs to be cooked. We got kind of a mirepoix rocking out here. If you wanted to add the celery into yours, by all means, add the celery. My girls don't like celery. That's why I don't put it in. So by all means, you can put the celery in there, but Angelina can pick that stuff out. So we can't even sneak it in anymore. She's getting too good with that taste palette of hers. Patrick, you disappeared.
I'm here.
Do you make shepherd's pie at home, and if so, are you using lamb? And do you use the celery in your starter, the mirepoix?
So I typically don't use lamb, and I definitely don't use celery at all. I actually don't even do a traditional mirepoix. I'll just do the onions. I'll use the carrots. I'll just put some peas in there, which I know you're going to get to later. But I definitely don't do the celery.
And one thing that I want to make sure everybody understands: you have a base, a guideline. There, you can do whatever you want. You do you. I've got buddies that put corn in theirs. We already talked about the celery, the difference between the lamb and the meats. I got someone that uses ground turkey just because, you know, they're being healthy. Forget about the mashed potatoes and, you know, all the sugars in the onions and the carrots here, but and the peas. You know, they're being healthy. One thing I didn't bring out that I wish I had is I should have brought out a crock to show you how to build a shepherd's pie. Maybe I'll just build one inside a 1 pint or inside a ramekin just to show you. But it's pretty simple. It's not much science to it. And if you're in the seasoning list where we mail you seasonings, you got your dust today. We have dust and red inside this recipe, and we should have warned you. It says BDC Smokehouse. This is just VooDoo Chef's barbecue sauce. You can grab any barbecue sauce you have in your refrigerator or sub out beef stock. Either one will work. So we'll kind of slow up a little bit and let you get that if you don't have it out already. We just want to cook these to the tender point because remember, we got a lot more cooking to go. We got to brown our meat. We got to break down our tomatoes. We're going to add our liquid. It's going to stew a little bit. Then we're going to cool it. We're going to wrap it and then deep fry it again. So we don't have to go all the way to the end. So we're about halfway. Going to go ahead and add my meat. It's amazing how loud the clickety-click comes through. I don't know if it's loud on your end.
Oh, it is.
Now, you may have heard the building and layering of the flavors when you're cooking. That's exactly what we're doing. We extracted the flavors of those onions and let them start to come out with the carrots. Now we're going to incorporate the meat. We're going to let it do its thing, and we're going to season the whole way through. We're going to season every step. And the seasoning is going to help bring out the natural flavors of whatever we're cooking. And that's what dust does. Dust is going to help bring out the natural flavorings of whatever you're cooking. Someone asked me one time, what should I use dust on? And the answer is simple. Everything. I call it scrambled eggs de filet mignon because that's what we put it on. Absolutely everything. I don't want to say it's hard to over season with it because, you know, it's we work with some geniuses sometimes. But, you know, dust is very forgiving as opposed to salt. So, you know, if you're confident in what you're doing, go straight to salt and pepper. If you want a little extra added flavor with a little bit of forgiveness in case you go too heavy, dust is the way to go. And that's what Jake put on his ribs, right? That was in Booties. And I wanted to ask Jake what kind of smoker he's using. I didn't get to see it.
I'm trying to find it now.
All right, so check this out. For me, this is a key part of what we're doing. You know, I see a lot of people use the side of their spoon or their spat to kind of break down their meat. Now, when we talk about our meat, we talk about breaking it down. Your tool is going to help you determine what you do. It's kind of like scrambled eggs. The more we move it, the smaller the curds. The less we move it, the bigger the curds. I want to break this meat down because it's going inside my egg rolls. I don't want big chunks here and small chunks there. So instead of using the side, I'm going to use the flat. And I'm going to, as I'm browning this meat, just kind of break up these large chunks of meat so that I get the small little grinds, because that's going to set better inside my egg roll and disperse more evenly. Whereas if I have a big chunk, we're going to get a lopsided egg roll. We could have pockets, and that's not what we want. I mean, people definitely know that homemade feel when you do it that way. But when they bite into that egg roll and they get that pocket of air, or even worse, if it's not sealed right, that pocket of grease, that's kind of off-putting. So we want to make sure and break the ground beef and ground lamb or ground pork, whatever you're using, down into small grinds. And we're looking real good here. All right, so you'll see on your recipe, it's going to say add your tomatoes and then cook it some more and then drain off some of that excess grease. I'm going to flip things up. I'm going to drain off some of this grease first. And the reason I'm going to do that is I don't want to lose any of the juice from the tomato that's going to break down. If you're looking at the camera, I don't know if we can zoom in, but you can see the grease coming up through that spoon. And we just want to get rid of some of that grease. And I say some of it, not all of it, because we're going to use some of that grease to combine with flour to create a roux, which is going to add thickening agent. So what I don't want you to do is get a strainer and drop it in a strainer. I want you to get something to put across the top and pour off some of the grease. And I'm just going to step over here and use my spoon. So I'm going to move all my stuff to the side so I don't get a big shift. And I'm just going to pour some out. Between the oil that I started with and the fat that we lost from the meat, I'm going to tell you, I probably could have pulled off between a quarter and half a cup. And I just poured out most of what I could, leaving some on the bottom, because like I said, we're going to add some flour and use that to create a roux. In go our tomatoes, just to cook down and give some of that yummy, yummy sweetness from that tomato and that acid as well. Don't need to cook this too long. All right, is everybody keeping up with us? I see Jake's got that Coyote front-loaded pellet grill. How's everybody doing? Is everybody on pace here with me? Is Lizanne in the room? She's an overachiever. She's probably done.
She is in the room. She checked in earlier. It's been a little quiet.
Everybody with us, or do I need to slow down because of the straining of the meat? Jen says she's okay. Lizanne's busy cooking. Isn't it funny? I knew that was her. If you're scoring at home, unsweet tea. All right, time to get busy. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to sprinkle my flour across my meat. I'm going to go ahead and add my VooDoo Red at the same time. Now, if you don't have the VooDoo Red, easy. Fill in your own earthy, warm flavors here: paprika, cumin. Put a little chili powder if you want, some salt, some pepper. We have a nice blend here, pinch of cayenne. We take the workout for you. We take the workout for you so that you don't have to do all that measuring. It's easy to just do it one time and be done. Now, we want to make sure we cook this flour. We can't just dump it in. We want to make sure we combine that fat and flour to get it combined, because that's what's going to allow it to activate. And you're going to say, big boy, why'd you skip the step? Why'd you go ahead and add the red? You don't have to, but by adding the red now, if you've already done it, you should smell those seasoning notes coming right up at you. And it's just going to release some of those flavors, roast them down, make them a little more appealing. Oh, man. You know, Patrick, some days when I'm cooking and you're over there, I'm like, son of a gun, why aren't you cooking and let me chill with the bourbon? You're missing out tonight because, dude, this is fire.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Just to keep things moving. Here goes our smokehouse. And our chicken stock. People think I'm crazy because I organize my disposable pan the same way I organize my table. It's all right. Makes it easier when I get in the house to clean. All right, so now we're just going to mix this up, and you're going to watch it thicken up. And I hate to use this comparison, but kind of like when you use that taco packet at home, and you put that taco and that taco seasoning and water inside your ground beef. That taco seasoning packet has flour and cornstarch in it. That's what's causing it to thicken up. You can do the same thing with VooDoo Red. Had that in your first month, this past month. For VooDoo Red, it's like 2 tablespoons of VooDoo Red and about a half tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix that together. Brown 1 pound of meat. Throw that in with 3/4 cup of water, and you got your tacos. All right, you can see how this thickened up already. And we're just going to simmer this here for a couple minutes. Make sure it gets to the consistency we want. Remember, we want it a little bit more than a thick chili because we're going to be sticking it inside egg roll wrappers. So we want to make sure that this tightens up and reduces a little bit. I tell you what, this is looking super yummy there, homie.
Yes, it is.
You know what I didn't bring? Tasting spoons. And I could smell that it needed this. Isn't that horrible? All right, final seasoning. We're going to get this to the consistency we need. I got to tell you, I got mashed potatoes sitting right there. We could be done right now if you want.
This is true. That wouldn't get that thing
Oh,
off. Over to that.
Do I need to bring you some of this tomorrow, Patrick?
I wouldn't be upset if you have any left over.
Well, we're making a ton, and it's a party of one, so. All right, here we go. Last ingredient. The peas. Now it's looking like a shepherd pie.
Yep.
Patrick, best shepherd pie you ever had?
Honestly, the one I make.
Yeah?
I put brown gravy in there instead of the barbecue sauce. So it's not as sweet. It's more of a traditional one, something that I made.
I missed what you use instead of barbecue.
Brown gravy.
Yep.
Just straight brown gravy. It's a recipe that I actually made with my grandma growing up as a kid. something that she would always make in family get-togethers and whatnot. So I pretty much stick to that recipe. I don't deviate from it too much.
I had I keep wanting to say Raglan's in Orlando, but the more I think about it, that wasn't it. I remember that place for the other end of the spectrum. I had shredded lamb inside instead of ground. And I mean, it was memorable. It was good. It was flavorful. I remember the dish. I can't remember the where. So, guys, mine's looking real good. I don't know where you guys are at. We can share the link if anybody wants to jump in and show some pictures of where you're at. But as your meat starts to thicken up, your filling, we're going to pull this off and we're going to cool it. So
that's from Sean.
Should put a shot of the Jameson in there. Mine's too thick. I need to water it down. Is that what am I reading?
I think he's saying that should the bottle of Jameson sauce be thick or pretty watery? So should the I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe add some Jameson if it's thick.
Are you the not Jameson sauce? You're ahead of us, buddy. We're gonna start making that right now while this sets. You want it like a gravy, homie. I mean, I tell you the word nappe. I don't know if you be able to. I don't know if you know what that means. I'm not saying you don't. But guys, look, mine's pretty solid here, and as it cools, it's gonna thicken up even more. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull mine off. I don't have the luxury of a refrigerator outside, so you guys go ahead and stick yours in the refrigerator so it gets cool, and let's start the gravy so we can stay up to speed with Sean. Sean's on fire. All right, you know what we need before we... I don't know if you noticed what I pulled out of the dirty dishes, Patrick.
No, I didn't. I was typing. I'm replying to Sean's right now, actually. Yeah.
You know, because this was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Until you have 4 or 5 of them in less than an hour, then you're
not worried about the now. I'm worried about the later.
Yeah.
Because that's generally what happens with cheap shit. All right, that's it. All right, here we go. Sean, best thing to do, turn yours off and wait so we can get caught up, and then you can see what ours looks like. If it's watery, I'm going to tell you right now, jump inside the house and get some, jump inside the house like he's standing outside like this dumbass. Get some cornstarch, buddy. I've got some so I could show you what to do with it. But go ahead and grab some cornstarch because you can add a little bit of liquid, make a slurry. Get that sauce piping hot and add that. It'll help thicken it up. All right, here we go. Back to our oil. All right, guys, I keep my pan on about medium when I'm doing demos. If you watch me do the grill, unless I'm racing or trying to, do a fast cook on a burger, I usually do the demos on about medium just so I could flap my gums and explain while I go. So if you're flying high and you're hot, you might get ahead of us. You just, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat there. We'll be happy to answer. LOL, Def in my kitchen. I can make a slurry. Just wanted to be sure before I do that. Hell yeah. Let's put a little trivia question up, Patrick. How about that? Oh, before we forget, the Patreon drawing. So we had a third-party agency select the winner from our Patreons.
Yep.
Pretty much we put all the Patreons' names in a hat, and Patrick's son picked one. And Jen Rossage, you're the winner of this month, so keep a lookout. All right, here we go. I got my oil hot. I dropped in my creminis. Now, take a look. I quartered mine. It says slice. Again, you do you. I quartered mine because I'm using dual application tonight. And I wanted the second application to have the quartered creminis. So I just went that route. You could do whichever you want. When we were writing this recipe, you know, we made it with both, and we made it a couple different times just to see which direction we wanted to go. And at the end of the day, you know, when you give it more surface area, you get a little more weavage of the flavor. When you do it this way, you get a little different look. You have to pick what you want to do. The biggest thing is they're going to weep a lot of liquid. So, Sean, depending on your mushrooms, that could have added to the change in the consistency of your sauce as well. You know, that's one of the hardest things to teach. You give somebody a recipe and you say it's a standardized recipe and you say, you do this, and then they do it and they're like, what the hell? You know, everything has slight little nuances, and that's where you have to have the skills that go behind it. You have to have the skills and the knowledge to be able to apply to that standardized recipe so that you end with the right result. At the end of the day, if we're in a restaurant, we're looking for a standardized flavor. So the cook would adjust to meet that flavor, and they would hopefully be making this dish enough times to be able to know what that is and pull that out. At home, you're making the flavor that you want. You want. The recipe's only as good as the cook. That's a good one. Every drop made in Lynchburg, Tennessee, 6 Daniels, #1 Tennessee Old Sour Mash Distilled, bottled by Jack Daniels. What the hell is all that?
Trying to add a picture, it looks like.
All right, again, guys, back to the dust. We're going to season these down. Got my garlic. Oh, yeah. I'm changing up on you, homies. Changing up on you. I'm dropping the honey tonight. Look at that steam. Now, yours may have ignited. Mine did. And we just want to let that cook down and off. Here's where the iPhones start tricking out. My neighbors got me on camera. You know, they're going to wonder what the hell we're doing. All I need is the Motley Crue playing in the background, right? You know, I use the honey on purpose, and we'll come back to that. The flavor of the whiskey is going to be the same, but I wanted the sweetness from the honey. And if you know me, you're probably saying, dude, what the hell? You don't eat honey. It's not about me. All right, so, Sean, here's some things I like to do. I'm going to cook this whiskey down.
And this comment is from Sean, since you're talking about cooking the whiskey down. Damn near melted the microwave, lighting it on fire. the microwave above the stove.
I wish you had that on tape, buddy. All right, so some things I like to do. I like to take the whiskey down to the consistency that I want the sauce at the end. And then I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. Dude, I know I say this all the time, but this is what I love about cooking. I don't get to stand behind these things often anymore. but the aroma from that honey is just absolutely insane. All right, here we go. Now we're going to do the cream. The beef stock. And we're going to let this reduce. I got this thing on high. I'm going to go ahead and add my parsley because I have no patience. I say that all the time. Now, I hope you guys all have your meat filling in the refrigerator. We want to get that cooled down. That's imperative to what's coming up. So make sure it's in your refrigerator cooling down right now. Then we're going to start showing you some other items. Oh, shit.
You look a little lost.
Just thinking. Just thinking. It's kind of hard to cook without a pan. I'm short one pan, but that's okay. That's okay, because I'm doing the bonus plan.
Right.
So I came out with one less pan. I didn't take into account the bonus dish. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody ready to show us some of where they're at? Patrick, did we put the link to join in the chat?
We did not, but I will do that right now.
Or I'll beat you.
Let's see.
Or not. It won't let me do it.
Got it. I have to do it from Facebook. I couldn't do it from StreamYard.
I wonder why that is. Oh, this is going to be really good. You know, one thing that I want to make coming up in March, I was very fortunate to be part of a team and lead a team in creating the only model culinary academy in the nation. And when we did that, we got invited to Nashville the first time. Jen, you were with us. Jen was part of that team, and I'm proud to say that. And we got to go to Nashville to receive our award. That was a good time. When we got it the second time and we renewed, we got to go to Lexington, Kentucky. And I got to tell you, it was a cool town. I may or may not have snuck off to the Jim Beam Distillery and had some whiskey, some bourbon. We got to tour the Muhammad Ali Museum. But I experienced a hot brown. Now, if you talk about contributions to the culinary world, I would say the hot brown is up there with probably poutine. You know, poutine, not really a big deal. Right. French fries and gravy, wow. And Canada goes, that's ours. Sorry, Phil. Kentucky claims the hot brown. Open-faced turkey sandwich, cheddar cheese, side of mashed potatoes, brown gravy. You know, again, not much of a culinary contribution, but something I cannot wait until March for Derby Day to make me a hot brown and enjoy probably one of the most unattractive, unappealing, amazing sandwiches that you'll ever have. All right. Sean, if you're taking a look here.
So he's actually in backstage. You want me to bring him in?
Yeah, where's it? Oh, I see him down there.
Yeah, I got him.
Jen, we'll tell that story in a minute. Sean, turn your phone sideways. There you go, homie. You know some trivia.
Yeah.
What's your apron say?
If you don't like my food, you can go fork yourself.
I thought you were a real foodie, dude.
Well, I mean, you know.
All right, Sean, you seeing this here? Is this what yours was looking like? Not much of a gravy?
Yeah, I got it thickened up with the cornstarch.
Now we can reduce this all the way. But if
Yeah, I was letting mine reduce for quite a while, and it wasn't getting any thicker. So,
the more we let it reduce, the stronger the flavor is going to be, and that's what's going to make it super yummy.
well, I can assure you, they are very yummy.
We could definitely cheat on this, homie, by making a stronger beef stock, adding less. Now, I'm assuming most of us use base in making our beef stock, or if you bought beef stock, you could reduce it in advance. That's going to tighten up that flavor. But if you're using like Better Than Bouillon or some of the restaurant quality bases, you can make a double strength and use half as much. But what we want to make sure is we have that heavy beef flavor. You want to show anything off there, homie? Oh, you're done.
Well, you can see it. Oh, I'm done.
Done, son. Look at that.
Sauce was a little green. I might have put too much parsley, but it was still tasty.
No such thing, man. Did you eat one yet? Let's try that
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Let us hear.
Oh, I definitely ate one, but I'll be happy to eat another one.
So, I made egg rolls over the weekend. My kid woke up and ate the rest of them in the middle of the night. Looking good, man. How is it?
It's good. Real good.
What'd you make your slurry out of?
Just a little cornstarch and water.
All right, so just so you know, to make a slurry, you just need liquid. It doesn't have to be water. So I just added Jameson to my cornstarch so that I could use that in my slurry. Because I'm going to go ahead and thicken this up so we can start getting moving here. I thought Ippolito was the overachiever, man. I think you win, buddy. All right, when you use a cornstarch slurry, not only is it going to thicken it up, it's also going to give a real nice sheen and make it look pretty, if you will. And there we go. So we got a nice little not Jameson gravy. And again, I use the the honey jack today. And man, that's looking super good. So we're gonna let that cool. Set that down. And while that does, it's time to get ready to roll some egg rolls. All right, one thing I like when I'm rolling my egg rolls is I have a raised rack on top of a sheet tray. And I'm going to roll them and set them right on here. That way when I go to the fryer, I drop them in the fryer. I take them right back onto my raised rack. Let's get rid of our cleaning. And I almost need another shot of that Jameson there, Patrick. That was not a good introduction. Patrick, how many did this make? Do you remember?
Hold on. Sorry. I think we put it on the recipe.
At least 6.
8 egg rolls.
I'm gonna go more than 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 16. Am I right there, Sean?
Well, if you follow the recipe exactly. If you double the recipe, then 16. Unless our yield was off.
I think it's the other way. I think it's 1632.
Heard.
I could be wrong. All right, so Real simple. About 2 ounces of your meat. Okay, that's about a quarter cup. I'm going to go a little more because I can. All right, here it is, guys. What am I doing with that shot, Patrick?
I'm assuming not drinking it, so my guess would be you're going to use that to help close that egg roll up here.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm sorry, I went too fast. Put your filling in, fold over, and kind of round it out. When you fold your sides in, make sure you got a 90 degree here. Same thing on this side, 90 degree. Pull this in and kind of roll. Don't just fold. I hate when people just fold. Get a little bit of your water and wet down that pasta sheet and roll it out. So you got a nice little roll. Then we're going to transfer. Now, I got to roll a little quick because even though induction cooktops don't maintain heat, they have some heat on there that I'm sure Jen could tell us the technical term. It's not convection. I think it's conduction. So it does have a little bit of heat to it, and my sheets are softening up. So again, over. 90 degrees on your inside pulls. And then roll. Your water. Some people add flour to their water. I don't think it's necessary. And apparently water is not even necessary because I'm using Jameson. I'm telling you, if you're going to make this again, try it with that honey jack, man. It sweetened it the hell up. It is smelling amazing. We're gonna make 4. You guys can roll them all. I'm gonna make 4, go through the fry, and then show you some other stuff. Booyah.
So, Lizanne, to answer your question, about 2 ounces of meat in the filling, maybe a little bit more if you want to have them a little bit bigger like Erik is doing right now. You just don't want to have too much where you can't get that nice tight roll.
It's kind of funny. You got to have enough to get a nice roll. Otherwise, they're just too thin, and it's like, what's the point, right? But if you put too much, it's bursting out, and we're super no bueno. All right. All right, I got my oil. Now, Sean, your egg rolls look absolutely amazing. I just got to tell you that. They look fabulous. The key to making sure you get that nice gold brown is you want to make sure that oil is at the right temp. So if you have a candy thermometer or a frying thermometer, you can definitely utilize that. Sticking that inside the oil, measure the temp. We want to get it to about 350. If you have a surface area thermometer, you hit that red light right on that surface, and it's going to give you the temperature at the surface, and that'll let you know how hot the surface temp is. When we're working with a grill or a fryer, it's perfectly acceptable to use that surface temp. If you're checking the temperatures of meat, absolutely not. We have to have the internal temperature when we're cooking. So you have to have the probe that's going to go into the center of that product. My biggest question from Angelina when I was making this was, what kind of oil you using, Pop? Using lard. And I'm like, I fucking wish. We're just using a Crisco here. You know, Crisco lives in my house. It has since I was a kid. I guess it's my grandmother lived with me, and Crisco was always there. Bacon grease was always in the can, on the stove. It was just part of what was normal in my house. Patrick, did you have bacon grease on your stove in the house coming up?
Not really, but I do now.
You do
I didn't grow up with it, but that's something that I always have. It's either on the stove or I have a can of it in the freezer, ready to go.
Turkey bacon, didn't you?
Say again?
You had turkey bacon, didn't you?
Oh, God, no. What part of the turkey does bacon come from?
The belly. The belly. From the belly.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
If my wife had her way, we would have turkey bacon every week.
You know, I like turkey bacon. It's just, number one, not bacon.
Man,
But it's good. It has a very good flavor, and it in certain applications, it works. I don't know what those applications are. No, I'm kidding. Turkey bacon is good stuff. You know, again, this is not the butter bacon, caffeine, carbs, and bourbon show. VooDoo Chef would never condone turkey bacon, but it has its place, and I eat turkey bacon. All right, we're at about 252 degrees. I'm going to take this time and store some of my meat. Now, if you're over there saying, what container are you putting it in? I'm putting it in the beef stock container so that we're good. You know, it's probably the only one that I could use that's over here. Everything else had something that we don't want to mix. So, Patrick, what I hear is, if I bring the filling, you'll make the rolls, right?
Sure. If not tomorrow, we can do it Thursday. I think I'm a little busy tomorrow, not having access to a fryer.
All right, where's 200? 200. I held bacon grease in the fridge in a crock. Absolutely, that's where I keep mine nowadays. I don't leave it on the grill. The girls asked me, why aren't you using the bacon grease to fry in? Good question. The smoke point's not the same. It would just like burn way too quick. So it's good to add flavoring and use for flavoring, but you're not going to see a full vat of bacon fat in a fryer hitting 350. Although I don't know, maybe we try it, right? Jen, are you almost done? Hey, we're up to an extra person in the room. Who are we missing? Or who did we add?
Nobody. Sean wasn't in, and now he's out.
No, in the goodies.
Oh, chats. Oh,
Did Tiffany Bolt join?
I can't see names. Let me see.
All right, guys. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When you're doing this, drop in with your tongs, okay, so that you don't get burnt. And I like to go about 4 at a time. That's why I made 4 to start. Because each time we add one, the temperature of our oil drops. And it's going to change the way they fry. You got to be super careful not to have too much oil. I learned this in science class. We got this thing called water displacement. So if we have too much oil when we add our egg rolls, it could come over the top. I generally do mine about 3/4 full. I don't have them fully submerged, but I wanted to make sure I had enough oil in there today for what we're doing. And you can see a lot of action right here. I'm going to bet we had a break in the egg roll and we got some liquid coming out into the oil. A lot of action going on right there.
Yep.
I called it.
Yep.
So we had a crack in the egg roll. No big deal. Real easy. Take the filling, put it inside another skin, or finish it in the oven. We got a lot of splatter going on. Oh wait, I'm watching the murder case. Spatter, not splatter, spatter. And guys, not too shabby, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Let me do this. Nice little egg roll. All right, so, oh, wow. If you saw that at home, you're good. That oil went right in my eyeball. As much as I say I hate my glasses, loving my glasses. All right, so ahead of the show here, I whipped up some potatoes. And when I do the egg rolls, try to keep them hot. I like to take them and put them on top of the potatoes. And then hit them with the gravy. Come back with a touch of the 1980s garnish. And serve it just like that. Shouldn't be seam side down first. If they're sealed proper, you should be good either way. It's all about getting that seam. The breakthrough on mine came from, I had a couple like that, and it looked like a manufacturer defect because it was a straight line in the middle of the sheet. And I had it over the weekend. I just missed this sheet when we were rolling it. But guys, pretty yummy app here. You could do this a couple different ways. You could lay the egg rolls out, have a mashed potato bar, and have the gravy and let them build their own, eat it how they want, combine it how they want. It's a nice little howdy do for St. Patty's Day if you're having a party. If you're going to a party, you can make these in advance, fry them, cool them, put them inside Ziploc bags and freeze them. So you can make them and do that in advance. Pull them out the night before. When you get to the house where you're going, if you're going to a party, reheat them in the oven. If you're doing it at your house, reheat them in your oven right beforehand. Patrick, what do you think? Comments?
Makes me want to have another egg roll. I mean, I love the versatility of egg rolls in general. Being able to put pretty much anything in there. I mean, I've had cheeseburger egg rolls, Philly egg rolls, just fill it however you want and whatever you're happy with and whatever you like eating.
So, I don't remember when it was. Patrick and I were talking, and we just started talking molecular gastronomy, and I picked up some unflavored Pop Rocks. I do an apple pie egg roll where we put a true American apple pie filling in there. We serve it over vanilla ice cream that we season with magic. So we have a barbecued ice cream, and then we put the egg roll on top, and we serve it with a side of magic Pop Rocks. So we take the Pop Rocks and we mix in VooDoo Magic so they have that barbecue-y flavor when you put them in your mouth. You take a bite of the egg roll, the ice cream, and you drop the Pop Rocks in, and you got a 4th of July happening right on your plate. Really fun, really fun. I'm going to do a switch over, Patrick. You want to answer any questions? And I don't know if you want to show that that video that is ahead of the game just for them. Absolutely. By all means. I need about 3 to 5. And if anybody wants to show their plates, pop back that link and get them up.
All right. All right, guys. So, as Erik was saying earlier, him and I actually had the opportunity last week or a week before. We stopped at a local bar and we tried some Guinness for the first. He tried some Guinness for the first time, and then he also tried a car bomb for the first time. So, of course, in true Erik fashion, he went ahead and recorded the whole thing. So this video just got posted on Patreon around 6 o'clock tonight. So, in case any of you have not seen it yet, just wanted to go ahead and play that now as he's getting reset and getting ready for the next part of the recipe tonight.
All right, buddies. So I'm told we're doing this because we can. Fucking millennial fucker. Okay, I've never drank Bailey's, never had Irish whiskey, never had Guinness. I mean, let's be real. We know what I drink: Coors Light, Jack Daniels, 512, Tito's. But St. Patrick's Day, right? Went in Maloney's. So I'm told when I drop the Bailey's and Irish whiskey into my Guinness, I have to drink it fast before it curdles. And I feel like some 16-year-old at a frat party. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't call it a frat. You call it a fraternity. I'll drink a half a bottle of Jack right the fuck now. I don't know why I'm such a fucking girl right now, but here you go. There you go. Happy Maloney's Day. 3, 2, 1. I have no idea why we did that. I'm told because we could. And I got to tell you, I really like the flavor of that Bailey's Irish cream in there. It kind of just smooths out everything. And I'm sure I'm going to feel that whiskey and that Guinness, because you know I don't drink beer, pretty quick. Pretty quick. I should have had a Monster.
Still mad with you about that, homie. Never had a car bomb. I don't know. Next thing you know, he's going to have me drinking like B-52s and shit. Never had that either. All right, I told you we were going to do a couple bonus plan, and I want to do that. Anybody want to show some pictures? All right, so I'm clearing some space because I just want to make sure we can do these last things and show you what I want to show you. I got a new pan going. Got to get a wipey wipe. All right. So my pan's conditioning. I told you the other day that we made egg rolls. And I talked about the traditional egg rolls when we put them up. I wanted to show you just how easy. Condition my pan. I've got all my ingredients already made. So I've got my julienne carrots. I've got my sliced green onions, my ginger, my garlic, and underneath, I've got my cabbage. Real simple here. I'm going to season my oil, flavor my oil with some sesame oil. I'm going to add some more sesame oil right to my vegetables. You know, you can add bean sprouts. You can add rice noodles. Get some rice noodles, put them in a bowl, cover them with hot water, let them set for 5 minutes, add them right in. I like the bean sprouts. What's really missing for me, cilantro. I love cilantro in there. And the meat, it says pork. I don't know about you guys. When I go to the supermarket, Patrick, we got to put the link back in the Facebook.
Heard.
When I go to the supermarket and I bought my 1 pound of beef and my 1 pound of pork to get my half of each, they didn't sell a half pound. So I got a half pound extra beef and a half pound extra pork. I'm putting that right here, and I'm going to brown that down, and I'm going to use this for my traditional egg rolls. You might not, want to come home and do this. Do these in advance. Same freezing method works. Same breakdown. The back of the tongue, the back of the spoon. Get those grinds small. And make sure you season your food along the way with that dust. I'll tell you what, I think it's time for a cocktail now. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jen, you got your link. If you want to click that, it'll bring you right to us. Now, when we do this, I see so many people take their vegetable mix and try to stick it in here. There's no need to do that. No need to do that. Once we get our meat cooked, we're going to pour it on top of our vegetable mix and mix it all together while it's hot. The steam and the liquid from the meat here is going to get that vegetable wilted exactly where we need it. You don't even really need to put it in the refrigerator to cool it down. We're almost ready to go here, guys. So, because of that ground pork, you don't really have the color here that you'd expect out of that, ground beef when you brown the meat. It's going to have a little lighter color. Don't freak out. Make sure you cook it all the way. Again, get those grinds of meat down. Get them to the smallest grain you can. My meat's cooked. Here we go. I want to keep the bottom of my bowl a little cool. We're just going to take the full pound of meat here.
And Eric, we got somebody backstage, so whenever you're ready, you let me know.
Yep, let me just finish mixing this, and then I'll be able to pay full attention.
Heard.
So now I had my vegetables all separated so you could see them. I usually would mix those in advance, so I'm not working as hard now to make sure I got full disbursement of flavors. But that garlic and that onion, you want to make sure that it gets spread out. I actually like when I get an egg roll and I get that heavy ginger bite. But again, it could be offsetting to a guest or one of your friends. So just make sure you get a full mix. And guess what, guys? Our egg roll mix is ready to go. We follow the same exact process of making egg rolls as we did for the shepherd's pie. And we have a traditional egg roll right there. Which way? Too simple. Too simple. All right, let's take a look at what my friend Miss Jen Rossage has for us. You want me to do it right? My friend Miss Jennifer Rossage has for us. How are you, friend?
I'm doing very well.
I cooked at your wedding.
I know. She was just going to say that.
I've never forgotten about that steak. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Tell us what you got there. Point to everything.
Well, obviously we have 3 egg rolls. I tried to style it so you'd approve.
Oh, I see it. I see it now.
I wish I had more fresh parsley, but then I covered it in.
Oh, that's the best view right there. Oh,
and unfortunately, the baby is making herself aware now.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Babies can do whatever they want. That's gorgeous. That is absolutely amazing. Did you have fun tonight?
We did. We had a really good time. Ashley rolled all the egg rolls, and I did the cooking.
Ashley, come to my house. Finish rolling ours. What do you want to make next trip, Jen?
Oh, shrimp.
You know, we might can do that.
Or anything. Steak is good. You know?
So I think the next menu is actually going to be up. Am I back on? I think we're going to have that. I lost one of the computers, so I think we're going to have the next menu up before the end of the week.
Oh, great.
So keep a lookout. All right. One thing I told you guys that when we started Patreon, did it go away? Check 1, 2.
Go try now.
Check.
Good.
Good. One thing we said when we started Patreon is what we wanted to do was do something different than VooDoo. And so, you know, it was kind of hard to come to the shepherd pie egg roll and do that this month, but it was such an easy thing to do with preparation for St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
And just so you know, St. Patrick's Day has nothing to do with that guy on the screen. Although he probably likes to think that.
It's my national holiday, isn't it? Everyone celebrates me. I don't know. Buy me Jameson. It's all good, right?
Speaking of Jameson, I need to find. Hold on. Oh wait, I forgot I had this one over here. So we wanted to do something a little different. So you saw me switch up the gravy, and I used the honey jack. It's because I had another dish working in the house, and I had a steak inside my sous vide, and I marinated the steak with honey jack and espresso rub, the dirt. And so we're going to take this and we're going to put a hard sear on it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slice it down and show you one more application we can do with the shepherd pie egg roll, just to give it yet another look. While this is, I left my knife inside. While this is heating up, I'm going to grab my blade. All right, I can hear that the oil's ready. Here we go. Now, all the seasoning already on there. Already on there. So we don't have to do much work. We had it in the sous vide at a temp of 135, so we can pull it out and have it ready to rock and roll. We're going to our same mashed potatoes. Right in the center of the plate. Look at that steer. Now what I've got here, I've got some pea puree. And that pea puree is the peas from our shepherd's pie with some garlic, some onion, a little salt and pepper, and chicken stock. Bring it to a boil, simmer it for about 10 minutes, and then we puree it down. Run it through a fine mesh sieve, and we're good to go. Final sears, and we're done. That's the beauty of the sous vide. That's the beauty of the sous vide. We're just gonna set that right there. Now I've got my VooDoo 13 blade here. These are made for us by Rhineland. These are the best knives that I've had in a while. I actually gave up my Woostoffs to use these. And look at the inside of this meat. Perfect. We're just going to cut some nice slices right off of this. Holy moly, dude.
That doesn't look bad at all.
This doesn't suck, man. All right, so about 3-4 ounces. And watch this. We're just going to get a little fan right across this potato. And I'm going to give it a little push down. That would have sucked right there. Look at the cook on that.
That's amazing.
Right?
Yep, that's sous vide all the way.
And here we go with the mushrooms. And now you know why I wanted the bigger mushroom. We're going to hit it with the parsley. Doesn't really need it because of all that green on there. But then we're going to take some pea tendrils and drape over this thing. And I am just a huge fan of pea tendrils. And guys, it's just a pretty simple way to elevate your shepherd's pie.
Yep.
All right, Patrick, here we go. The honey espresso sirloin. Hot damn, dude. Man, I got to tell you, this is spot on. I know who's Angelina's going to be eating that thing. Guys, I hope I have a lot of fun doing this. Like I said, I don't get to do this often. So, you know, persona has taken over the person sometimes with VooDoo. And you find a lot of burgers and a lot of overproduced butter, bacon, caffeine, carbs, and bourbons in our repertoire. But it's nice to come out and do things like this. If you like what we did, check us out on Johnny B. We're going to be on Johnny B March the 10th. And I think we're going to be doing a full 5-course tasting menu. And if you won't see the stuff, well, I guess you could log on to the Bone Online and see the food. If there's anything on that you want us to do on Patreon, we definitely will. But we appreciate you guys coming, hanging out, and hope we see you again next month. Patrick, any closing thoughts?
Now I'm kind of hungry again, so thanks for that. I appreciate it.
What'd you eat for dinner? Tell the truth. Don't lie.
Pizza.
Dude, I had tacos. Life of a chef, right?
Pretty much.
Everybody, all the good stuff. Hey, don't forget, every Tuesday night, except for the fourth Tuesday, VooDoo Chef podcast. Tune in, check out. You guys are always welcome to join us in trivia. And who knows, you could win a prize. It could be named at a later date, right? But if not, we'll see you in a month. Thanks for checking out Patreon, guys. We're glad to have you as a Voodoo.